Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. I know. Double upload today. There is one thing or two things that I did not cover in my previous two draft videos that I really want to touch on. I want to go more in depth into Baker Mayfield and my thoughts on him, and also Lamar Jackson. So Baker Mayfield, there's every year, there's that one quarterback in the draft who is very successful in college that nobody believes in. And they find little reasons. He's cocky. He's too short. He played in a bad conference. They'll find anything to try to disparage this guy for what he's done or hasn't done. And I saw the same thing last year with Deshaun Watson. Nobody talks about it now. But if you go back and look on YouTube a year ago, last March or April before the draft, you'll find all the so-called experts. There might have been one or two in there that did believe in Watson, but a lot, Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, did not have Deshaun Watson high on their list, as far as being drafted. And I was a big, staunch defender of his, clearly because I'm a Clemson fan, but I didn't just think that because I'm a Clemson fan. There are certain things that, when it comes to the quarterback position, that you cannot teach. Awareness in the pocket. Deshaun Watson was labeled as a running quarterback because he played for Clemson, a team that ran the ball a lot. But anybody who watched Clemson every game for Deshaun Watson's entire career knew that he was not a running quarterback. He was a pocket passer who could run, which in college is a big deal. He's not, what's his name? RG3. He's not Vince Young. They put that label on him. And I heard that over and over again, especially on YouTube comments, is, he's a Vince Young 2.0, Vince Young 2.0. And they say the same crap about Baker Mayfield. He's Johnny Manziel 2.0, Johnny Manziel 2.0. If you think Baker Mayfield is anything like Johnny Manziel, then you really have not been paying attention to football. And you just haven't. Johnny Manziel was a flashy player with a big personality whose real claim to fame was beating Alabama a couple years in a row during a regular season game. And if you go back and watch those games, he made some great plays. But a lot of his stuff was luck. He threw up the ball, a 50-yard Hail Mary, and his guy came down with the ball, and all of a sudden Johnny Manziel is a genius. Johnny Manziel was a bipolar drug addict, okay, let's call it what it was, who was exciting in college. Baker Mayfield is a gamer. He's a quarterback. He's a football player. He has way more talent, natural and hard-working talent, than Johnny Manziel ever thought about having. He has an awareness in the pocket that's you can't teach. You can teach footwork. You can teach how to read defenses pre and post snap. You can teach mechanics to a certain point. You cannot teach evading pressure. And I'm not talking about if pressure comes, you're like Lamar Jackson or any of the other quarterbacks who can take off and make a negative play, a positive play. I'm talking about extending plays. I'm talking about just shuffling around, feeling what's around you. It's an innate thing in their brain that, like I said, you can't teach. It's just a natural thing. And very few quarterbacks in the NFL have it. There's a few quarterbacks that can do that. Deshaun Watson's one of them. Tom Brady's one of them. Russell Wilson's one of them. Drew Brees is one of them. Guys that don't get hit a lot and, miss a sack by just shuffling, but keeping their eyes downfield. So that's why I think that, mark my words, and if I'm wrong, you can come back and tell me I'm an idiot, but I think that Baker Mayfield is going to end up being a starting quarterback in this league for a long time. If he goes somewhere like the Browns, which he probably will, that's my bold prediction today, is that the Browns are going to take Baker Mayfield #1. That's my bold prediction. Write it down. We'll see if I'm right. But I think he's going to have a good career, and it's not because he was a great college player. It's not because he's cocky and a winner. It's because he has everything that you would want out of a quarterback except for height, which I think is meaningless at that position. If he was a wide receiver, maybe. If he was a DB, maybe. Running back, maybe. But he's not. He's a quarterback. So that's my final thoughts on Baker Mayfield. Next, Lamar Jackson. There is a lot of thought that Lamar Jackson is actually going to end up going in the first round. So here's the knock on Lamar Jackson. And anybody out there, and I've seen a lot of this too, this says Lamar Jackson should be switched positions to a wide receiver is absolutely asinine. His only, and I mean only, downside, and this has come out in the media, and a lot of the NFL scouts have said this about him, is his ability to communicate. Basically, people, first of all, being a quarterback in the NFL or in college, communication is everything. You are the ultimate communicator at the line of scrimmage, in the huddle, on the sideline, period. You have to be able to communicate to your teammates what's going on, what you're planning on doing to make a successful play or to win a game. But somebody who has a hard time verbally communicating does not mean that they're an idiot. It has nothing to do with intelligence. As a matter of fact, I've met some really smart people, okay? People who score higher in their SAT, get into a great academic university, who are not the best communicators. I've met people who communicate very well spoken, perfect English, who aren't very bright people. So while it is important to communicate, it's not the end-all, be-all, and I think that you can, there's other ways to get around that. As far as the quarterback position goes, he's a better runner than Mike Vick ever thought about being, and you can write that down. He has a huge arm. There's a video of him. You can go probably look it up on YouTube whenever he was in high school. One of the reasons he got recruited at Louisville, where he throws the ball 100 yards from goal line to goal line in the air. So he's got a huge arm. Accuracy, he's not Baker Mayfield as far as accuracy goes. That can be something that you can work on and get better at, is accuracy. I think that in the system he was in Louisville put more pressure on him to be that dynamic runner than it did for passing, so that he never developed as much as he probably should have as a passer in high school. I think he can develop as a passer in the NFL. And if he goes late first round, early second round, whoever gets him can develop him. And he's certainly not a wide receiver. He's just not. He's a quarterback. He's already said, I'm a quarterback. I can't even catch the ball. He's been a quarterback his whole life. And I think that it's really unfair to label somebody. He made the statement, well, Josh Allen's built like a tight end. Why don't they make him play tight end? He doesn't have the stats. He didn't even have a Heisman. He didn't have half the wins I have. He didn't have half the passing yards I have in college. But yet he's going to go in the top 5, top 10 overall as a quarterback. Why wouldn't you put him at tight end? He's built like one. And he makes a great point. It's stereotyping. Just because you can run with the football means you're not a quarterback. Just because you're lanky, tall, and fast, which he can put on weight, then you're not a quarterback. So I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL, but I do think that he deserves a chance to be one and has the ability to be a good one. I think he could be better than Mike Vick as a quarterback. That's just me. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. My bold prediction, Baker Mayfield going #1 overall to the Browns. And my second bold prediction, since we're talking about Lamar Jackson, is that Lamar Jackson will go to either the Saints or the Cardinals. I'm going to say the Cardinals. Pigskin Pete, checking out.